Yay!
Yay! Hello, everyone. Happy
Hello.
Monday.
Yes.
We are here a few minutes late.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you. Thank
sorry.
you for joining us a little late, but it is worth it because we have Carly back.
Yay. Thank you. I was sad. I missed you.
Well, I had a great time with Theron. He is
Yeah,
a
he's wonderful.
fantastic fill-in, but it is so good to see you again.
Yes, I'm here with a little bit of a tan.
Yeah. You definitely look tanner than I do.
Bronzed.
While we're waiting for some people to join, let's just see who's in the chat. Michael Bingham,
Ooh,
as always, thank you for joining us so much. Welcome to you. Welcome to Blossom and Terry in Derek's Corner. As always, thank you guys for being with us. We'll give it a minute or two to see who joins. But you missed some big news while we were away.
I know. There was a lot. A lot.
We got Brian in the chat. This is why we cannot have nice things. First, the stealing of sporks. Someone stole a salt and pepper shaker from Disneyland Park's railway. Oi, oi.
Not
And
good. Don't do that.
wow. Eric, it's saying good morning to Eric out in California. Hi, Eric. Thanks for joining
Yes,
us.
I have to
Uh,
give Eric a special shout out because I did a story on Waterworld at Universal Hollywood,
oh,
and
yeah.
he was very helpful with me for it. So thank you, Eric.
Eric is definitely a font of knowledge when it comes to
Yes.
Waterworld. And speaking of Waterworld, our thoughts go out. It's not one of the stories we're talking about this week. Thoughts go out to the fire diver at the Waterworld show who was injured. I believe he's in stable condition
Yeah.
last I checked. So we hope for his full recovery.
Right. It's a tough job for sure.
Yeah. They really those stunts are for real. All right. Well, we got a bunch of people here. I say that we just kick this thing off in 3, 2, and 1.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 176 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. I've had a really quiet week, not much theme parking, but Carly, we have missed you. It's been 2 weeks without you. Thank you again to Theron for filling in.
Thank you.
But what kind of adventures have you been on lately?
Oh, so many adventures. I did opening weekend of Festival of the Arts, which is my personal favorite festival. I think the food each year just somehow keeps getting better and better in that festival. And, I just think food and wine is so big now that for many reasons, it's just not my favorite anymore. And Festival of the Arts is the best. The freeze-dried Skittles were so good, and I don't even like freeze-dried, or I don't like Skittles or freeze-dried anything, really. But my whole group got like 5 of those cakes one morning, and we just sat and ate them inside Odyssey, and it's so good. Did you try the rainbow cake?
I'm gonna have to take your word on it. I kind of don't do Skittles and other things with super heavy food coloring,
I feel
but I love the Odyssey. I love how they've figmentized it with projections from the old ride on the walls, and especially the pin
Pigment.
tables. The
Ooh,
pin
yes,
tables.
pin tables.
I grew up obsessed with the pin tables in ImageWorks. And it is, I don't think that they're the ones I grew up with from the 80s, because those would be pretty nasty by now. But they're a great recreation, and they're so much fun to play with.
Yes.
Festival of the Arts, definitely worth checking out for sure.
Absolutely. And then this morning, thank you, why I was late, I did a hard hat walkthrough of Carowinds New Land. So if you're not familiar, Carowinds is an amazing amusement/theme park owned by Cedar Fair, half in North Carolina, half in South Carolina. And this is a project that they've been working on for years, but obviously with the pandemic got a little bit put on the back burner, but it's a highly themed area themed to aviation, which is such a big part of the
Ooh.
Carolinas history. So it was really exciting. It was a lot of mud, so I did not have appropriate shoes on.
Oh no, a hard hat and a hard boot tour.
Yes, yes. But yeah, it's awesome and exciting stuff is happening there.
That is great. Well, it is so good to have you back. And I think now, without any further ado, it's time to jump into the news in the queue. First up, we've got some news coming out of Tokyo Disney, where their 40th anniversary celebration is kicking off in April and will include entertainment, merchandise, and a brand new parade, plus plenty of your favorite Duffy.
Oh my God, I'm wearing a Duffy shirt today.
Yay! Perfect.
I read through all these stories. Yeah, it's going to be a Duffy heavy celebration, which is officially called Dream Go Round.
Dream Go Round, yes. It kicks off. The resort opened its doors to guests on April 15th, 1983. And to celebrate that 40th anniversary, there is festive birthday decor, which they have called Dream Garland, around the entrances of both parks. And that sets the stage for a bunch of new entertainment.
Yes, and of course, what everyone I saw mostly was excited about was the new parade called
Yes.
Disney Harmony in Color.
We've actually got a separate article going into detail on this parade. I love that it starts out, it's the first new daytime parade in 5 whole years.
Yeah.
Walt Disney World, we are lucky to get a new daytime parade every 10 or 15 years. We're thrilled. And Tokyo, they do a great job of updating these things, every half decade or so. And this one, Harmony in Color, is going to kick off on April 15th for the anniversary. Opens up with Tinkerbell atop a rainbow-colored float, and it's got a kind of pedal theme all throughout.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really cool characters on this. I saw, from Wreck-It Ralph will be there, Big Hero 6.
Mhm.
So they're kind of embracing a lot of different facets of, Disney's wealth of material that they could use.
Yeah, this is a big parade, 45 minutes long with 12 floats. It's only going to have one performance per day. And it's got a giant-sized finale float. Some of the themes that you're going to see along the way, like I said, starts out with Tinkerbell. It's got a section with Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde from Zootopia. You've got Russell, Doug, and Carl from Up.
Yes.
You've got a princess theme led by Merida. A family theme featuring Coco and The Incredibles. You've got your best friends from Pixar's Toy Story and, like you mentioned, Wreck-It Ralph and Big Hero 6. And it all wraps up, of course, with the big cheese himself, Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah, this is so awesome and so jealous. We saw Disneyland Paris knocked out their 30th anniversary. So I'm expecting Tokyo to be even bigger and I'm just jealous.
Yep. You've got until April 14th of this year to see the current Dreaming Up parade, and then it will swap out overnight for Disney Harmony in Color on the 15th. Other things that are happening as part of the entertainment lineup at Tokyo Disney's 40th is the Club Mickey Mouse Beach show in Tomorrowland is getting a makeover with new outfits and the addition of the new 40th anniversary theme song. I know that's a super popular show that I think you have to kind of get a lottery ticket to even see.
Oh, yeah. And then at Disney Sea, there's going to be a harbor greeting called Let's Celebrate with Colors. Of course, Mickey will be there, but my favorite Duffy, Shelley May, and other characters we don't know yet, but I'm hoping maybe some Lena Bell, some of the
yeah, and then, of course, it's not a celebration without food. There's going to be all sorts of anniversary eats, from ice cream cones to a menu item based on Tokyo Disney Sea's Aquatopia attraction. I would love to see what that one looks like. And of course, merch inspired by the Dream Garland. So there will be lots of merchandise to spend lots of yen on.
Yes, take all my money. It's over. We're the resellers. I need those personal shoppers to just send me everything.
So if you are interested in taking a trip to check out the celebration, visit MEI Mouse Fan Travel, and they can hook you up.
Yes.
And while we're traveling around the globe, let's talk a little bit about Avengers Power the Night, which is the first Marvel drone show performing daily in a Disney park, and it's now at Disneyland Paris.
Yes, I think this was when they were doing the previews of Avengers Campus. This was the drone show that I guess they saw to like all the Disney execs and such that were there. I remember seeing some people post about it. But so Disneyland Park itself had the drone show over the castle, but now we are getting a drone show themed to Avengers. Obviously, this looks amazing. If you've never seen a theme park drone show, they're so cool. It's like next level.
Yeah, photos definitely don't do this
No.
justice because it looks like just a bunch of dots. But check out some of the videos we've got online. I love, it kicks off with Doctor Strange's portal forming, which sort of introduces the whole rest of the show, and it's got some amazing formations for those drones. I think my favorite is when it makes Nick Fury's head complete with the eye patch, and the head doesn't just. I'm like, it sort of moves around and nods down at the audience. It's really cool. Yeah, and the Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Tower of Terror also gets in the act with projection mapping on the facade, new laser projection, spotlights, and fireworks. It's pretty cool, and I think it would make a great addition to Avengers Campus in California.
Absolutely, because once it hits nightfall there's kind of not a lot going on. Obviously, they still have the character interactions, but yeah, this would be perfect for Avengers Campus here. So this is also be fair to the U.S., not just Florida.
Not just Florida. I was gonna say it, but you beat me to it.
And if you can't get over there, I have to say the Dollywood one they do during the summer celebration, their drone show is spectacular.
So this officially started on January 28th. It's going to be running for a bit, so plan a trip with MEI out to Paris. And while you're at it, let's plan a trip to Hong Kong Disneyland this February, where it is celebrating Valentine's Day all month long with couples photo spots, a menu of new sweet treats, and the new Dreamers of All Ages lavender clothing line.
Yes, I mean, I was really surprised by this because we don't quite get those we get the themed food, obviously. They'll do the Valentine stuff, Halloween, but this whole kind of like add-on to your resort package thing for just Valentine's Day, it's kind of crazy they put this much effort into a program for that.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't see those things. We do get Sweethearts Night disrupting operations at Disneyland. Making a mess of things.
Good way to say it.
So here's some of the things. Like I mentioned, there are some couples photo spots at the most popular romantic spots around Disneyland, including at the Castle of Magical Dreams during the nighttime show, and also during the Mad Hatter Teacup ride. And you can, of course, meet famous Disney couples like Mickey and Minnie or Prince Charming and Cinderella. And of course, what's more romantic than food? There are lovers, lollipops at the vending carts, 5-course meals with wine pairings at several restaurants, and even, this sounds fun to me, an Explorer's Afternoon Tea Buffet with Mickey Party Kit that you can add on to any dining experience.
Yes, they're really kind of going all out. And then what I think was most excited about is this new clothing line that's all lavender and tones of purple, and it's really cute.
I kind of like this long sleeve
Yes.
flannel
Mhm.
purple shirt that she's wearing. I've got some vintage that kind of looks like that, actually.
Yes. No, they did a really great job in their ears that have a bow, and it looks like they're almost like fuzzy purple. I don't know, but it's really, really cool stuff.
So as you were mentioning, one thing that makes this kind of special is these add-on packages that they have. If you're having a romantic vacation at Hong Kong Disneyland, there's a happier romance room package with a decoration package with slippers and cards and an amenities pouch. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm not sure what exactly is in that pouch. But you also get a flower workshop and tea for two and some plushies of Mickey and Minnie to take home. There's other less elaborate packages available. I would love to do the Starlight Picnic, which is they've got
Yes.
an outdoor lawn spot that's designated, and you get to watch a Disney movie and get a picnic basket with food and drink.
Yes, no, this is a really great idea, and I'm sure heavily targeted to get some locals to come out and do something special
Mhm.
for Valentine's Day. This is going to be running from February 1st through 28th, and then some of the packages are only available during a limited time during the celebration, so probably around the big day, I'm guessing.
Yep. HongKongDisneyland.com for more details. Of course, if you're traveling somewhere as far away as Hong Kong, having a travel agent like MEI is a great idea. All right. Moving a little closer to home, out in California, there are a few things that happened in the last week. And one of them was the debut of World of Color 1, which is the all new version of Disney California Adventure's signature and nighttime spectacular. This one features films from all facets of the Disney empire. And the theme is the journey of storytelling, which all started with Walt Disney himself.
Right. So when we see everything, we really mean everything. So you're getting stuff from the animation studio, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, all somehow connected flawlessly, seamlessly in one show.
We'll talk about that flawlessly and
Yeah.
seamlessly part, but yeah, I'm at a certain point. I was a little surprised that I didn't see ESPN and Hulu thrown in.
Oh
Kind
God.
of expecting Abbott Elementary, or I don't know.
Oh,
Um, yes, so you've got Walt Disney Studios, you got Pixar, you got Avengers, you got Star Wars. Um, you've got all of this in a show that is using 1,200 fountains, 380-foot wide water projection screens, and the soundtrack is made up of 18 different musical compositions, which includes a brand new song called "Start a Wave" by Cody Fry.
yes. And then of course your Magic Band Plus.
Yes, if you've got a Magic Band Plus, it will light up and blink and vibrate in sync with the water.
Yeah, I
Yay.
have to say I've been holding my Magic Band Plus since it came out, and I always forget to use it. I used it 2 weekends ago. I can't tell you how many times I got jump scared when I'd be walking past the statue and my wrist would suddenly go off. I was like, "Oh God, I hope people aren't looking at me." It was
My-
ridiculous.
I since I got an Apple Watch, I very rarely wear my Magic Band.
Yeah.
But my wife uses hers, and we were walking around Epcot during the Flower Garden or the Food and Wine. Sorry, the Festival of the Arts.
So many fests.
Which is so many festivals. So we're walking around, and she's like, "My arm's buzzing. My arm's buzzing." It's like we walk past a statue, just wave at it, and it'll stop.
I know, but so I think it's kind of cool. Statue things, one, but to have it be synced up to the show could be interesting. I mean, I don't know. You're not going to look at your wrist.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't look at my wrist. I'm going to be watching the show.
So, I have not seen the show in person. I can't give a review just based on watching video because these things are never as good on video. But I will say my first impression after watching videos is I don't think that the editing, the flow and pacing and storytelling is connecting with me as emotionally on this version as it did with the original World of Color.
Right, and I feel like you're not alone there because that's been kind of the general vibe.
Yeah.
of what we've heard.
We do have our friend Eric says that he enjoyed World of Color 1 minus the transitions.
Yeah.
He did get to
There
see
you
it
go.
in person. I think it will help a lot to see it on a night that is not extremely windy. This is a show that's very susceptible. If there's a lot of wind, you're not going to really be able to tell what's going on the screens.
But again, it's, you have to see in person to make a call. It's the same with
Absolutely.
attractions. When people, judge something based on,
Yeah.
crappy iPhone video, see it in person. We all like different stuff. I mean, it's a new show, it's updated, so that's great.
Yep. And if you want to see it, we've actually got a whole article just on how to view World of Color 1 at Disney California Adventure. They are using the virtual line system. And so I believe that becomes available at noon daily.
Yeah, I
so
mean, this is like a must read because
Yeah.
otherwise there's such limited spots for just
Yeah.
walk up. So you're really going to want to have a bit of a strategy, as with anything along these lines.
Absolutely. Yeah, so check out that article and let us know what you think of World of Color 1. The other big new entertainment to debut at Disneyland was Wondrous Journeys. We've also got a great look at that, including a multi-angle video on our YouTube channel, which really gives a great look at all the projections, the flying Baymax, and the clips from every single Walt Disney Animation Studio film ever.
Right, they're really leaning in the hard to embracing everything, and of
Mhm.
course the flying bats, like that's the star to me.
Yes, we got a couple great flying figures. There is no Tinkerbell. That was always the traditional flying figure during Disney's fireworks, but this time we get the Blue Fairy from Pinocchio, and we get a really cool Baymax in his super suit mode with jets coming out of his feet flying around. There's a lot of great moments here. Like we said, nods to all 60 Disney animated movies. I was a little shocked to see Treasure Planet. I thought I was one of the only people who remembered the existence of Treasure Planet, but it gets a nice little featured moment. And there's some great. I really love the mashup of Hercules and Moana and Belle, all doing their I Want songs, and they kind of weave them all together for a really, really powerful segment. And this is one that you can, obviously, everyone wants to see the projections on the castle. Everyone wants to stand in the hub. But you can see these projections all along Main Street. You can also see them on the facade of It's a Small World, which is usually a lot less crowded, and you're a lot closer to the fireworks there. And you can also see them from the Rivers of America. So if you're seeing Phantasmic for the first show, you can usually just stay put afterwards and enjoy the fireworks without having to move.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to see this one. I'll be out there in a few weeks, so I'll let you know what I think about it. But yeah, I'm definitely much more excited for this than World of Color.
Yeah, there's a fun new theme song for this one. It feels really well paced from the videos I've watched. Like I said, check out our 4K multi-angle shot on YouTube. But yeah, this one is one that I am very excited to see. And well, we got a commentary from Eric, who saw it in person, and he loved Wondrous Journeys. Feels like it could have used some other special effects, like some confetti. Oh, I would hate to be the people who have to clean up confetti after every show. Maybe Snope. Snope. And dancing water fountains by the castle. Yeah, I know that Disneyland Paris has those water fountains around the castle, and Shanghai does, I believe, as well. Would be great to have something like that around the castle at Disneyland. Though the fountains might shoot up higher than the castle. It's a very tiny castle.
Facts.
Yeah. Okay, well, moving finally over here to the East Coast, we have a full menu and an opening date, finally, for Roundup Rodeo BBQ in Toy Story Land. Get ready to make your reservations for March 23rd, 2023, because that's when you can sit down for a big family style feast right inside Toy Story Land, surrounded by crayon cardboard cutouts.
Yes, I am excited for this because we know Disney can do barbecue really well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm remaining optimistic. Family style makes it a little bit tougher, well, could be literally tough meat. It could get tough. It could also be really amazing. So I am excited to try this one.
I have some hopes. Just looking at it, it kind of reminds me of an upscale version of the old Big Thunder barbecue that I used to love at Disneyland.
Yes.
Ever since they turned that into Galaxy's Edge, I have been looking for a Disney kind of family style barbecue experience to match. And they do good barbecue over at Fort Wilderness for the Hoop to Do.
Oh, yeah.
So they have the recipes. And this one, you're going to get a big platter that includes ribs, brisket, chicken, and sausage. But what I'm really excited about is they've got proper vegan options this time.
Yes.
There's an Impossible Meat rib. There is plant-based bratwurst, and what looks pretty tasty to me is a slow smoked cauliflower.
Same. A lot of times even at festivals, I sometimes like the vegan options better
Mhm.
because it's so much easier to screw up actual meat when you're cooking in high volume. So a lot of time it's a good choice at anywhere to go with the vegan option.
Mhm.
And then they're doing all these sauces, so there's sweet barbecue,
Yes.
traditional, and spicy, which I'm really excited to try the spicy. So I imagine that maybe if the real meat isn't great, I bet you those vegan options will be good slathered in the sauce.
Absolutely. I miss the days when Flame Tree Barbecue, this is going back, at Animal Kingdom,
Mm.
used to give you an option of a mustard sauce or vinegar sauce in addition
Yes.
to the traditional molasses sauce.
Oh,
Um,
because I'm not always I don't really like sticky sweet barbecue, but I
Yeah.
like
I love
vinegar.
a good mustard barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They've also got some really tasty looking sides and salads. There is a kale salad, a tomato salad, and a really yummy looking watermelon mint salad. And they've got cheddar biscuits that are going to kick off every meal.
And they're
Um,
served with a sweet pepper jelly, which I love
mhm.
sweet pepper jelly. So it's a really well-rounded menu. When I saw it, I was really impressed with what they did.
Yep. And don't forget about the fried pickles, which are another option for sides.
Mm, yeah.
So you'll also be able to end the meal with a selection of desserts, including a cupcake with poor Forky stuck
Oh,
in it.
so
Uh,
instead of him saying I'm trash, he'll just be like, I'm
and
a
a dessert.
cupcake.
And there's also a chocolate silk pie, an apple pie, and a peach strawberry pie.
Yes, and then
All in
first,
little
yes,
jars.
little jars. They look so cute. And then there's fun cocktails and mocktails.
Speaking of jars, if you
Yes.
want a mason jar full of adult chocolate milk or margarita or frozen peanut butter and jelly,
With
um,
Screwball Fireball whiskey,
ooh,
whatever.
that sounds
It's
dangerous.
so good. No, it's
Uh,
good. It's butter. It's so good.
I'm a big fan of mules. They've
Mm.
got a vodka mule with ginger beer, and so that might be the one I pick out. Or
I think
there are,
that's a
of
safe
course, some
choice. Yeah,
mocktails too.
yeah. Everything's pretty sweet heavy.
Hmm.
So I'm sure they're gonna have beers and wines and stuff,
Yep.
so you can try something else. But the mule's a safe choice.
So as we said at the top, March 23rd is the day that this kicks off. So get in there on My Disney Experience and try to make your reservations and plan your trip to Disney World with MEI. We've got at least 2 votes from Genevieve
Mhm.
and from Eric for a Big Thunder barbecue. So you folks have
Right.
good taste out there.
Yes.
All right. Now for something completely different. If you are in Los Angeles and you are a Gen Xer like myself who has fond memories of Blockbuster video stores, you might want to check out the latest pop-up bar in the LA area, which recreates the Blockbuster experience, except instead of picking out a movie, you are picking out a cocktail.
Yes, and this is really cool because it's literally set up like a Blockbuster with the videos on the wall. So when
Yeah.
I saw the pictures of this, I was like, okay, this actually looks much cooler than I thought it would be.
Yeah, so you come in and they give you a rental card, and then you walk around the store, and all of the different cocktails that they can make are represented by different films. So, like, they have a Hocus Pocus that's got Spring 44 vodka, Sprite, and Midori. Or they have a Titanic with Kettle One vodka, passion fruit vanilla, lemon citric acid, and kava.
Ooh.
So you can just browse the boxes on the wall, pick out a movie that represents a drink that you like, and then you bring it to the checkout counter. And instead of getting a film, the bartender makes your drink.
That is very cool. Very, very cool. And then also there are some throwbacks to our favorite foods.
Yes.
So I got excited. I loved Dunkaroos. There's a Dunkaroos.
Dunkaroos. Yep. Yes, classic. Yeah, they've also got grown-up Lunchables.
Yeah. Which is just charcuterie play, I guess.
Yeah. And of course, you can't have one of these pop-ups without lots of Instagrammable backdrops to snap selfies in front of.
Oh, yes.
Yep. So we have on our website, if I can even bring it up, sorry, the link to bucketlisters.com/event/blockbuster-pop-up for more information about this limited time event. Or you can just experience it vicariously through our video on our YouTube channel. And yes, Michael remembers the good times at Blockbuster, renting video games and wrestling videos. Yep, absolutely. Good times. All right. Well, that just about brings us to the end of our news in the queue for this week. Before we jump into the main story, it's time to hear a word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at MEI-Travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
And for this week's main attraction, you guessed it, it's the grand opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Disneyland Park. Our lucky correspondents were there for the grand opening and got to have a tour and walkthrough with an Imagineer. And we've posted that for your enjoyment on our website.
Yes, it looks very cool. Matt and Jack were there, so I loved following everything that they posted. So the ride is, for the most part, the same, but the queue is unique, and obviously the exterior facade is, not the same in Hollywood.
So this is definitely one of those be fair to Florida situations.
Yeah.
We lost a lot to get Runaway Railway. We lost, what a lot of people consider the greatest dark ride, certainly that Hollywood Studios ever had, the great movie ride. And I really enjoy the Florida version of Runaway Railway, but it's kind of an awkward fit into where you can sort of tell that they had to squeeze it into the building. The queue, it's a little bland, and you really don't spend a lot of time in the inside queue, and there's not much to see. This, they really plussed it up. From the exterior, which is, like you said, the El Capitan Theater. If you're in California, Disney famously restored the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood. And then the whole way through, you get to see this whole exhibit of Mickey's history. It's like a museum that's been curated by Minnie, starting with kind of Mickey's origins, all the way through modern day, and all sorts of fun props and Easter eggs. It's not really interactive. There's nothing really to touch necessarily, but there's lots of surprises and effects.
Yeah, I love the Easter eggs, particularly. I tried not to look too much because I wanted to be a little bit surprised. But there's some nods to like the Little Man of Adventureland I saw in there. So it's definitely one of those things like you got to really be looking because they put a lot.
Yeah, there are some really deep cuts. You
Mhm.
really have to know your Disney history to get some of these references. And like I said, we got to take a tour through it with an Imagineer, and so our article points out a lot of these great little references, and we've got a video as well that points out a lot of them too. I one of my favorites is that you go past the popcorn stand. And all the little popcorns have Mickey ears. They're
Yeah.
all little hidden Mickeys.
Yeah, I mean, they really did a great job. This is going to be something you have to go on like multiple times to really see a lot. And then probably even then you
Yeah.
won't touch it all. And then if you're doing an individual Lightning Lane purchase, you're probably going to miss out on a lot of the good stuff.
Yes.
You
This Lightning Lane skips past pretty much, the majority of these Easter. You get to see a little glimpse of it,
Right.
but this is really for the folks who are, at least for now, using virtual queue, which is the only way you can experience the attraction right now. The virtual queue opens up at 7 a.m. For everyone with a park reservation at Disneyland Park. You do that from your bed.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't get in then, you've got a second chance at 1 p.m. You have to have checked into one of the parks by then. And if you're over at California Adventure, you have to have a park hopper. The first few days, those were going real quick.
Yep.
I expect that to slow down a little, because the annual pass holders and the bloggers will get it out of their system. Disneyland has so many great attractions that no one attraction has that much demand. It's not like Hollywood Studios where you've only got a handful of headliners. But I do think that certainly they're going to keep using that virtual queue until the rest of Toontown opens. Right now, it's only this ride that's opened. Most of the rest of Toontown is still blocked off, and there's just no room for an extended queue. So they couldn't. From what I understand, the whole standby queue for all the wonderful decoration it has really only holds about 15 or 20 minutes worth of people when the attraction is running at proper operating speed. So you got to put, if you're going to have a line longer than that, you got to put them somewhere. And until the rest of Toontown is free of construction walls. So at least until then, and I would expect the virtual queue to stick around for, at least a few months or maybe a year or so.
Absolutely. And, Disneyland is in kind of a period of change. We have Indiana Jones right now closed for refurb.
Yep.
We're waiting on Splash Mountain. They haven't said when that.
Yeah, and
I
I expect an announcement for that any day.
Yeah, but I don't think they can close it yet
Mhm.
with Indiana Jones closed, with the rest of Toontown not opening it. So I bet you they're going to announce it soon, and it probably won't even be closing until like later this spring when there's more, because you got to fit bodies somewhere. They have to be
Absolutely.
somewhere. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So, if you if you want to experience this attraction, they have been devoting quite a bit of the capacity to Lightning Lane, paid Lightning Lane, which has been running about $20, I think. So if this is a important part of your day, hop on that as soon as you tap into the park. If Otherwise, develop a fast finger and Google around for tools to help you grab those virtual queues, because
Yeah.
it can be done. It absolutely can be done. I will say that I was really excited. I really thought it was just going to be. At first, I just thought it would be a pure clone of the ride itself,
Mhm.
and then I heard that there was going to be some additional changes, some scenes, but it would be no big deal. I was actually impressed how they made a bunch of little changes that I think really add up. I think there's a couple videos out there putting the two versions side by side. I think the pacing of the Disneyland version is much better, especially if you're sitting in one of the back cars. In the Florida version, if you're not sitting in the front two cars, there are a lot of things that happen just before you get into a room, and you kind of feel like you're at the tail end of it, where they retime stuff. Especially that the thing that I think is a big change is at the very beginning of the ride, when Mickey and Minnie are driving in their car. In Florida, they crash into the sign almost instantly, and then the sign just sits there wobbling, and then
Right.
it falls over at the very end for no good reason. So they redesigned that. So now in California, Mickey and Minnie are like driving alongside you in the train the whole time they're talking, and then just crash in at the end. And it makes the pacing of the scene so much better. I also really like this new tunnel. There's a tunnel at the very end before you get to the finale scene. It was a very abrupt change from the climax to the finale in Florida, and this gives you a little breathing room and a little extra joke with Goofy before you go into the finale. I'm excited to see it in person.
Me
Sorry,
too.
spoilers for those of you who are waiting to see it in person, but
No, definitely. I mean,
Mhm.
I always in Florida, I always like kindly request the front because you're right. You just
it makes a
kind
big
of
difference in Florida.
makes a
Yeah.
big difference. It's all just so cool being there right behind it. But yeah, so this is great where you don't have to, you could sit wherever and still have an amazing experience.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think this will be great for folks in California who don't make it out here to Florida. And and hopefully its popularity will maybe draw some attention away from Roger Rabbit, because Roger Rabbit always has an unreasonably long line, and I really like it.
Yeah.
So anything that makes that line go down. Though I don't know, maybe now
Yes.
there'll be spillover. All the people waiting for their virtual queue to be called will instead go next
You
door
know
to
what? It
Roger Rabbit and
deserves
make
the
it work.
attention, and it's such a good ride. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we are just about at the end of this show. Thank you guys, of course, for joining us as always. And before I go, I want to thank our sponsor, MEI and MEI-Travel, once again. I want to remind you, please give us a review on Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating on Spotify. It helps us get the word out. If you want to find more coverage from us and Attractions Magazine on the interwebs, you can find me at the UG Series on Twitter, at the Unofficial Guides on Instagram, and at theunofficialguides.com, where you can pick up copies of my 2023 books. Where can folks find you, Carly?
yes, I am on Twitter at Carly Caramana and on Instagram at Adventures by Carly.
And of course, the entire Attractions Magazine crew is here for you 24/7 at attractionsmagazine.com, at Attractions on Twitter, at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, at youtube.com/attractionsmagazine, and at Attractions on TikTok. Till next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun, and we will see you next time.
See you then.
Bye.